Okay, so problem number one. Each one of these problems are really two problems in one because we have to find the slope and the midpoint. So let's do that. So for problem number one, for example, the midpoint, I really could break this down even further because we need x values and then the y values. So to find the x values, we will do the average of the x's. So that's just going to be 7 plus 9 divided by 2. So that's going to be 16 divided by 2. Okay, so the x value is going to be 8. And then the y value is going to be the average of the y values. So that's going to be 4 plus negative 1 divided by 2, which is 3 over 2. So the y value is 3 over 2. Which means that the midpoint is 8, 3 over 2. Okay, so there's your midpoint. Now, meanwhile, the slope, of course, whenever we do the slope, we're doing y minus y divided by x minus x. Well, you know what? They usually write it the other way. So I will 2. They usually will say y2 minus y1, x2 minus x1. In truth, the order in which you subtract does not matter as long as you do it the same way both times. If I do y2 minus y1, then I have to do x2 minus x1. But I could do y1 minus y2, but then I'd have to do x1 minus x2. But whatever you do, make sure you put the y's in the top and the x's in the bottom. Rise over run, because this is rise. And it makes sense that that would be y values since y values go up and down. X values go left and right. So that will be the run. Anyways, so y minus y over x minus x. So I'm going to do 4 minus negative 1. So that's going to be 4 plus 1. You know, maybe just once I'm going to show the step. I'm doing y minus y. So I'm going to go ahead and do, alright, I'm doing 4 minus negative 1. Okay, that's y minus y. Okay, now I'm going to do x minus x. I don't think I will do this color thing next time. So that's going to be 7 minus 9. Of course, when I have minus and negative like this, I add. And in the future, I will go directly to the addition. Okay, so this is going to make 4 plus 1 over 7 minus 9. So that's going to make 5 over negative 2. Okay, so that is going to be the slope. Alright, number 2. To find the x value, I'm going to do the average of the x's. So that's going to be 8 plus 0 divided by 2. Well, that's just 8 divided by 2, which is 4. To find the y value, I'm going to do the average of the y value. So negative 9 plus 5 divided by 2. So that's going to be negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2. So that's why the midpoint will be 4, negative 2. Slope, y minus y over x minus x. So this time I'm going to do 5 minus negative 9. So that's going to be 5 plus 9 because I did minus a negative. Anytime the second number is going to be negative, I go straight to addition. I recommend you do the same. So 5 minus negative 9. So since I started with the right hand point, I'm going to start with 0 when I go to do the x's. 0 minus 8. Okay, so that's going to give us 14 over negative 8. And we need to reduce that. So dividing by 2, that'll make 7 over negative 4, or negative 7/4. So that should be the slope for problem number 2. Okay. Problem number 3. For the x value, I will do the average of the x's. So really, I mean, do I even need to do this? The average of 1 and 1 is going to be 1. So you know it's going to be 1, but you know, if you just had to do it, you would do 1 plus 1 divided by 2. So that would be 2 divided by 2. That is in fact 1. When you go to do the y value, doing the average of the y's now. So that's negative 7 plus negative 12 divided by 2. Alright, so that's negative 19 divided by 2. That does not reduce. So the midpoint is going to be 1 comma negative 19 over 2. Okay, now the slope, y minus y. This time I think I'll just stick with negative 7 minus negative 12. So that's going to be negative 7 plus 12. If the second number is negative, add. And then that's going to be over 1 minus 1. Gotta watch out, going to have a 0 in the denominator, so negative 7 plus 12, so that's going to be positive 5 over 0. Well, you can't divide by 0. We know this, so this is going to be undefined. Or we could say no slope. Okay, that is what we would put for number 3. Number 4, midpoint. Alright, x values, the average of 0 and negative 4. Okay, that's going to be negative 2. Now, y value, that's going to be the average of the y value, so that'll be 4 plus negative 12 divided by 2. So that's going to be negative 8 divided by 2, which is negative 4. So that means the midpoint is going to be negative 2 comma negative 4. So there's your midpoint. Now the slope, y minus y over x minus x. I think I will do 4 minus negative 12. So that'll be 4 plus 12. If you haven't noticed, I love it when that second number is negative because I like changing it to addition. So I try to make the second number be the negative one so I can add. So 4 minus negative 12, that's 4 plus 12. Oh, I get to do it again for the x values. For the x values, 0 minus negative 4, so I get to put 0 plus 4. I love it when the second number is negative. So that's going to give me 16 over 4, which is 4. So that should be the slope for number 4. Okay. How about number 5? Okay. I think I should make this slightly smaller. So for the x values, average of the x's, so negative 4 plus 2 divided by 2. That's going to give me negative 2 divided by 2, which is negative 1. Now for the y values, 2 plus negative 3 divided by 2. So that's going to make negative 1 divided by 2. Okay, that's a 2, not a z. Okay, and that's it. So that means the midpoint is negative 1 comma negative 1/2. So there is your midpoint. Now the slope, y minus y over x minus x. So let's do 2 minus negative 3. So I'm going to put 2 plus 3. And then I'll have to do negative 4 minus 2. So negative 4 minus 2. So that's going to make 5 over negative 6. So that's it. Okay, that's the same thing as negative 5/6, by the way. Okay, so that's number 5. Alright, number 6. Midpoint, x values. Average of the x's. So 5 plus negative 1 divided by 2. So that's going to be 4 divided by 2, which is 2. Y values. Alright, average of 9 and 9 is going to be 9. So you know the answer is going to be 9. But if you just were blindly doing it, that would make 18 divided by 2, which is 9. But the average of 9 and 9, it's the same number, so you know that's going to be 9. So the midpoint is 2, 9. Slope, y minus y over x minus x. So that's going to be 9 minus 9. Uh-oh, watch out, it's going to be 0 over 5 plus 1, if I do it this way, 5 minus negative 1. That's going to give me 0 over 6. Do not leave it like this. Oh no. What is this? Is this undefined? No, this is not undefined. This is 0. Okay, when the 0 is in the top, it is 0. If the 0 is in the bottom, that's when it is undefined. Okay, so that's number 6. Alright. Now, this is one of these. Given the midpoint and one endpoint of a line segment, find the other endpoint. Show the setup. Okay? Wait a minute. If you have not yet watched the video that's called How to Find the Missing Endpoint given one endpoint and the midpoint, I want you to stop this video and go back and watch that video first. That video gives a more detailed explanation of what I'm about to do. So I'm going to solve these problems, but I'm not going to really explain it fully with the pictures and all that. So it will be in your best interest if you stop this video, make sure you go back and watch the video with the explanations and the images for how to find the missing endpoint. But assuming that you've already watched that video, proceed. Okay, so we're doing number 7. We're given the endpoint and a midpoint. So I recommend setting up two equations like this. Okay, let's do our x values, and then we'll do our y values. Okay, that doesn't look like much of an S. I think I can do better. S. Okay, let's start with the x values. This is the midpoint, so that's going to be like the answer. Okay, so it's going to be like this. If I have the average of my x values, so that would be -9 plus, and I'm going to use C. Okay, no, I'm going to use E and F for my endpoint. Okay, so it's sort of like this. I'm imagining that I've got one endpoint, and here's the midpoint, and I've got this other endpoint that I'm going to call E, F. So I'm going to try to find E and F. But the average of -9 and E should give me 8. Okay, so that's what I'm about to set up here. So -9 plus E divided by 2 should give me 8, because that's the x value of the midpoint. Similarly, the average of the y values should give me 14. So -1 and f. So the average of -1 and f, okay, add them up, divide by 2, that should equal 14. Okay, because this is one of my endpoints, EF is another endpoint, and 8, 14 is the midpoint. So the average of the y's should equal the y value. So it's just a matter of solving these two equations. So easiest way to do that is to multiply both sides by 2. Same thing over here. Multiply by 2. That way these 2's will cancel each other out. I should have left that for one more second. These 2's will also cancel each other out. So that is going to leave me with -9 plus e is equal to 16. Over here, that's going to leave me with -1 plus f is equal to 28. Let's see, get e by itself, so I have to add 9 to both sides. Get f by itself, add 1 to both sides. So that's going to give me e equals 26, so that would be 25. E equals 25. And over here, this is going to give me f equals 29. Okay, so EF is my other endpoint that I'm imagining. So that means this other endpoint must be 25, comma 29. Okay, my friends, that is how you do that. Let's do it again. Okay, this is number 8. So my other endpoint, okay, endpoint. Alright, I'm going to call my other endpoint EF. Again, I'm just going to do the same thing I did before. So, here we go again. Alright, so over here I'm going to do my x values. Over here I'm going to do my y values. Okay, so the average of my x's should equal my x. So 10 plus e divided by 2 should equal 6. So I'm going to set that up. 10 plus e divided by 2 should equal 6. The average of the endpoints should equal the midpoint. Same thing with the y values. 12 plus f divided by 2 should equal 9. So 12 plus f divided by 2 should equal 9. Okay, so multiply by 2 on both sides, and here again multiply by 2 on both sides. Alright, these 2's are going to cross each other out, these 2's are going to cross each other out. So that will give me 10 plus e is equal to 12. This will give me 12 plus f is equal to 18. Got to get e by itself, so subtract 10 from both sides. Got to get f by itself, so subtract 12 from both sides. That will leave me with e is equal to 2. And this will leave me with f is equal to 6. Since e comma f is my missing endpoint, that means the missing endpoint must be 2 comma 6. So there is my missing endpoint. Number 9, x values would be -8. Oh yeah, let's not forget the magical other endpoint would be EF. Other endpoint. Hey, other endpoint, what's up? So, the magical other endpoint. So, the average, -8 plus e divided by 2 should equal 10. Negative 8 plus e divided by 2 should equal 10. Y values. Negative 10 plus f should equal negative 7. Negative 10 plus f divided by 2 should equal negative 7. Average of the y values should equal the y value of the midpoint. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to multiply both sides by 2. Alright, these 2's are going to cross out. And then what will I have? Then what do I have? Negative 8 plus e is equal to 20. Negative 10 plus f is equal to negative 14. Getting e by itself, add 8 to both sides. Getting f by itself, add 10 to both sides. That's going to leave me with e equals 28. This is going to leave me with f equals negative 4. Since the other endpoint is e comma f, that means the other endpoint must be 28 comma negative 4. There's number 9 for you. What about number 10? Okay, the other endpoint. Well, once again, I'm going to call it EF. Okay, so x values. The average of negative 11 and e should equal 3. That means negative 11 plus e divided by 2 should equal 3. Y values. The average of 9 and f should equal negative 11. So 9 plus f divided by 2 should equal negative 11. So this is what must be solved. Once again, I shall multiply both sides by 2. Multiply by 2 on both sides. Multiply by 2 on both sides. These 2's will cancel each other out. And that will leave me with negative 11 plus e equals 6. 9 plus f equals negative 22. F. Got to get that e by itself, you guys. So I'm going to have to do plus 11 on both sides. I'm going to have to do minus 9 on both sides. That's going to leave me with e equals 17. This is going to leave me with f equals negative 31. Okay, again, since e comma f is the other endpoint, that means the other endpoint must be 17 comma negative 31. Kabam. And I think that is the end of the assignment.